I can't believe he's done that in an 11 over game. He's done it.
Yeah, that's not good, and we wanted the discipline early on, didn't we? And we haven't seen it. A wide and a no ball within effectively the first 3 deliveries of this innings.
Dieter Klein, what are you thinking? Just drag it. Don't bowl no balls. It doesn't make that much of a difference to understep by an inch. Goodness me.
Every run counts, chasing 25 in 11 overs.
This could be an 8-run swing, couldn't it, if he gets hold of this. Duckett's on strike because he managed to squeeze it out into the leg side anyway. Over the wicket goes Klein. Bowls to Duckett, who has top-edged it. It could be caught by Cosgrove. He's running back. He's not even going to try to catch it, I suspect, because obviously he knew it was a fairly pointless exercise. It wouldn't have been out. Duckett picks up a...
He would have saved the runs, though, wouldn't he?
Oh, no, it wouldn't. No, absolutely not. It would still have been 2. So, in fairness to Cosgrove, his thinking was tolerably clear there. No, it wouldn't have been a dot ball. It would have still have been 2. So 10 without loss after. Is it still just 3? Yes, because it's not 5 balls, it's just 3 balls. In goes Klein to Duckett, who hits hard on the bounce, but it goes straight to mid-on. So a dot ball, badly needed by Dieter Klein. 10 without loss after 4 balls of the first over. For the left-handed Duckett, well, same sort of field really, deep backward square, or deep square. In fact, he's just in front of square, Adil Ali, and deep extra cover, Aaron Lilly out there. Klein takes the ball carefully, grips it carefully, bowls to Duckett, who smashes it back over extra cover. Hasn't got quite all of it. I don't think he is going to just pick up a couple as Gavin Griffiths goes chasing back from mid-off towards wide, long off. Duckett has to settle for 2-12 without loss. First over of the Leicestershire innings yielded 10. Luke Wood was the bowler on that case, in that case. This is what we mean about 12 being competitive, but by no means intimidating. In goes Klein and bowls to Duckett, who pulls it rather, cloths it slightly out towards mid-wicket. Ackerman from mid-on. Duckett has to settle for a single, so it could have been worse, I suppose, when it's 10 from 3 balls. As far as Dieter Klein was concerned, just 3 from the last 3 legitimate balls. 13 without loss.
But it's not the start Leicestershire wanted, mainly because the discipline just faltered from Dieter Klein. A wide and a no ball, giving them 3 runs and a target of 125. And of course, you don't lose any balls for those 3 runs. You have to bowl them again. So 13 for no loss. The Outlaws require 113 to win this game. They've got 10 overs in which to get them. These 2 batsmen yesterday putting on a decent partnership to beat Derbyshire. Hale scoring 63, Ben Duckett scoring 64. Alex Hales has got 2 50s already as Gavin Griffiths has the ball in his hand. One of 3 changes to the Leicestershire side for this match, along with Harry Swindles, who lasted 1 ball in his batting, and Davis, who comes into the bowling attack too. We will be seeing him a little bit later. He bowled in the game against Birmingham, but I think did he manage 1.5 overs, something like that?
1.1 overs, Griffiths, for 9 runs.
The ball got smacked at him, cut his finger open. What's his reaction going to be? He's up to the wicket now. He bowls a straight delivery. That looked quick, actually, from Man. It's played away out into the leg side from Duckett, who will pick up a single.
It was the right length, wasn't it? It was right up. It wasn't quite a Yorker length, but he couldn't really get underneath it.
Looked like it zipped off the surface. Still a white, cloudy sky at the moment. Few grey clouds in there. It's threatened to rain. So far we have avoided it, certainly since the start of play. It was a miserable start to the afternoon, but we have got some cricket and very happy for it. On BBC Radio Leicester, Griffith up to the wicket, bowls a top ball. Excellent stuff. That looked quick again from him. He's got that sort of quite fluid action, as the ball zipping off the surface from him, and Hales was far too early on it. Went in between his body and the bat, but outside off stump, so no danger of the ball clattering into the wicket. It's a dot ball though. Nice stuff from him. As he picks up the ball from Will Davis, standing at mid-off. 2 men on the boundary, out at deep square leg and deep cover. Nobody behind square for the batsman as Griffiths bowls outside. That's a wide, that's a horrible ball actually. That was barely inside the outer white lines, was it? Never mind those blue lines that signal whether it's a wide or not. And the Nottinghamshire Tannoy announcer clearly has a sense of humour, plays a rather mocking tune to the sound of that. That was a rank ball from Gavin Griffiths after a decent start to the over.
Changed his action a little bit, slung it down and it pulled it. Dragged it.
Two wides already in this over. The bowlers need to up their game. Griffiths runs in, 93 on his back. He's up to the wicket. He bowls, and that's nicked for 4. There is a slip in place there, probably what, a third, fourth slip, but it found the gap between there and the wicket-keeper, and the flames from the Pyrotechnics go. 4 runs to Alex Hales, but a very fortuitous bounce. That was a thick nick. He really did go after it. There, it would have been at a decent catching height. As it was, the Nottinghamshire Outlaws moved to 19 for no loss. Hales on to 9 from 5 deliveries.
Going to get a few of those, aren't you? It's one of those things.
It's Dearden there, I think, isn't it? At a deep slip. As Griffiths bowls a full toss driven, it's stopped well actually by the fielder there at cover. That is Dearden, apologies. Yes, it's Parkinson. They look relatively similar from a distance. They both roll their sleeves up, don't they? That's a signature move from.
Away with that, didn't he? A bit full toss outside off stump. Makes up for the edge in the previous delivery.
Hales on to 10. Duckett now facing with a left-hand, right-hand combination once again, so the field changes. And Griffiths is waiting for the field to change, I think, is he? Yes, he's got the ball in hand. 2 men out on the leg side for Duckett. Griffiths up to the wicket now. Bowls. It's a straight delivery. He's bowled him. Great stuff. Poor from Duckett, who moved across his line, showed all 3 stumps to Gavin Griffiths, and he's knocked out his off stump. And that lies flat on the ground. The bails scattered across the outfield. Leicestershire have their first breakthrough. Nottinghamshire 20 for 1. A key breakthrough. That opening partnership is broken.
Yeah, well bowled, Gavin Griffiths. Very, very full. He was taking a little bit of a risk. He didn't have any men out on the boundary. Oh, Duckett does like it when he hits you on the leg side, and he stepped across nonetheless, even with 2 men out on the leg side. Griffiths didn't really follow him, but it went to Ben Mike. He and Will Davis coming in after the carnage at Grace Road last night.
Wickets are so vital with a shortened game. They just disrupt the batsman, because often you need 1 or 2 balls to get in. In T20 you can forgive that, but when you've essentially got half the amount of time, they are key. And also the fact that wicket is a dot ball. Well, a wicket like that anyway, I suppose a run out could be more than 1, but it's a dot ball as well as a wicket. The new man out then is Joe Clark, 23-year-old, very exciting talent. 47 already, 47 T20s already, 1,000 runs scored.
A figure right at the centre of a hugely controversial incident involving Leicestershire a couple of years ago when he was at Worcester. When he was recalled, having been given out leg before wicket. Recalled by the square leg umpire.
Intriguing. Gavin Griffiths runs in, 1 wicket to his name already. He's up to the wicket, he bowls full, excellent stuff outside off stump, a Yorker. Those are very, very difficult to play indeed. 3 dot balls from the over. 1 over, 1 for 7 for Gavin Griffiths. He's a man who came into the team, 1 change, a selection made after some disappointing bowling last night. He has justified his selection with that over. The Nottinghamshire Outlaws 20 for 1 after 2 overs. They require 106 to win from 54 balls.
Notts were 22 for Leicestershire, were 22 for 1 after their first 2 overs, so nothing in the game at the moment. Fox is right in it now, Will Davis. Can you emulate Gavin Griffiths and bowl a similarly restrictive over? He's going to be coming in from the pavilion end, and he's going to be bowling to the intimidating figure, you would have thought, of Alex Hales. In goes Davis. Bowls to Hales. It's short and chopped hard away out, but only as far as extra cover. It goes quite quickly, but straight to extra cover where Griffiths fields, and Hales turns away in disgust because it is a dot ball. He comes from it. 20 for 1 remains the score. 15 from the 3rd over. of the power play for Leicestershire, so plenty for Notts to do now. The pressure's beginning to build. Davis in again to Hales, who hits straight, could be caught. Going back is Parkinson, holds the catch, and Hales has gone, and Davis has struck, and Notts are now in a lot of bother here. The Foxes are doing the business yet again at Trent Bridge.
And they have got rid of the two probably most important batsmen, the two most experienced batsmen, the two players on the team sheet that you're worried about if you're a Leicestershire supporter or a Leicestershire player. And intriguingly, it's the two bowlers that Paul Nixon has brought in, Will Davis and Gavin Griff, those wickets. We're a long way from finishing this game. Leicestershire have a lot of work to do, but they've made an excellent start, and those team selections at the moment by Paul Nixon being justified.
Well, now, probably the key man as far as Nottinghamshire are concerned, Dan Christian, the captain, comes to the wicket. Australian all-rounder, vastly experienced at T20 cricket, 16 T20 internationals, but 285 games. Very much a global gun for hire when it comes to T20 cricket. 20 for 2 then, as the field changes for... Well, it's actually Joe Clark who's on strike because the ball was in the air. Well, the ball was in the air. The batsman did look like he'd actually got more of it than he actually did, Alex Hales. And I thought it was going to clear Klein by a long way. It didn't do so. Davis in to Clark. Short, looking for the pull. Bottom edges it straight back down the pitch. Another dot ball.
And the third one.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 0 at the moment off 3 deliveries.
A wicket maiden wouldn't be bad, would it?
No, that wouldn't be bad.
In an 11-over game for Will Davis. So, 44 on his back. Couldn't have gone better. 20 for 2. The Trent Bridge crowd very quiet. Davis turns, very straight run, sort of leans forward before getting into his stride and bowls very short. It sits up rather, but all Clark can do is paddle it out towards mid-wicket. It's one on height for the over, but that is all. And it is just a single, so just one from the first 4 balls of Will Davis's over, plus a key, potentially a key wicket, that of Alex Hales, 21 for 2. Notts now well behind in terms of run rate. Their run rate 7.88, the rate required 12.6. Davis turns to come in to Christian and bowls, and Christian just steers it out through point. Adil Ali is on the point boundary. It's not a long way to the point boundary, so it is going to be just a single. Christian and Clark both off the mark, but they're having just to have a little bit of a look, as Adam said, and that has slowed the rate considerably. What an over this has been from Will Davis. 2 from the first 5 balls. Can he finish strongly? Colin Ackerman is changing the field. He's sending Harry Dearden out from mid-wicket on the edge of the circle to the boundary, brings Adil Ali in from the cover boundary to the edge of the circle. In goes Davis and bowls a slower ball, hit in the air. Adil Ali dives, can't get his hands underneath it. Thought for a second he'd got 2 hands underneath it. Davis has his hands on his head, but it is once again a dot ball. A quite outstanding over from Will Davis, just 2 from it after 3 overs. The Outlaws are 22 for 2, chasing 126 to win from 11 overs. Their rate required is now over 13.
4 required from 48 balls. That was a very tough chance for Adil Ali. It could have even bounced in front of him. The reaction from the Leicestershire players suggested it did carry, but it was on the pitch as well. I always think that's so hard as well. Imagine how much that must rough up your hands when the ball goes down. What an over from Will Davis, though. Super hit. Callum Parkinson will bowl. Ian Stringer texts me to tell him that it didn't carry. So it wasn't a drop, so it was just a dot ball. Parkinson, he's been one of the standout bowlers, actually. He's been, maybe not yesterday against Durham, but in the other 2 games he's bowled very intelligently. He's up to the wicket, even for 4. Well, I'd almost forgotten what it was like to see a boundary from Nottinghamshire, and hopefully they're not going to put the pyrotechnics up as the fielder rushes over. Harry Dearden to pick the ball up right in front of them.
Could lose his eyebrows there.
126. As this one's a straighter ball this time from on the legs of the Australian. He flicks it away out into the leg side. He picks up a single from it. And that is the end of the power play, if I'm not much mistaken, isn't it? And
it is.
I can't remember what the end of the power play was for Leicestershire, but the difference stark. 27-4-2 off 3.2, run rate 12.91. 99 needed from 99 needed from 46. Parkinson, Bowles tosses this one up, it's hit. Oh, and an attempted catch from Colin Ackerman. It would have been a superb one-handed catch, diving to his right. He's gutted, is the captain. It was a brilliant effort he had to make the judgment and try and dive from it and try and make sure that it stuck in his hands. It didn't. Nottinghamshire get a single, 28 for 2. That's a big chance. As Parkinson bowls, this one's full hit on the full and without bounce down to long off. Aaron Lilly fields and gets that whopping great throw of his in. Just a flick of the wrist and it travels for miles. 29 for 2.
It's okay. He's come back well from conceding that 4.
Runs up now, up to the wicket. He bowls. This one's full on off stump. Oh, he should have stopped that. He dived across it. It was played straight down the wicket, and he did have to contend with Christian, who was right in front of him, but he was disappointed that slipped through his fingers. That could have been a dot ball, as it was played straight back past Parkinson. Ball in his hand. 30 for 2 the score. He's up to the wicket now. He bowls. This one's full. Hit on the half volley, but he doesn't get that aerially, does Christian, and will only get a single down to long on. Not a bad over and a good comeback from Callum Parkinson. Conceded 4 off the first ball. In the end, his over goes 4-9. The required run rate is going up quite dramatically, Richard Ray. It's now 13 and a half. Nottinghamshire 31 for 2. They need 95 of 42 deliveries here at Treadbridge.
Leicestershire, after 4 overs, were 48 for 1. Nottinghamshire are 31 for 2. So the Foxes at the moment pretty firmly on top. Now Aaron Lilly, having shone with the bat, is going to get an opportunity to shine with the ball. Well, as he did, will help him to do that, because it will have really lifted his confidence. For all his experience, any athlete throws. He's got long on and a long off back to bowl to Christian, as well as mid-wicket and deep square. In he goes and bowls outside off stump, carved away into the offside. Adil Ali at extra cover makes the stop in front of the Bridgeford Road stand, the Smith Cooper stand, and it is just a single. Singles are absolutely fine. In fact, Leicestershire can afford to concede 2 off each ball and still anticipate winning the game. Callum Parkinson signals for instruction. Stay there, says Ackerman. In goes Lilly and bowls and hit in the air. Is it going to go over long off? It is. Joe Clark over long off for 6. It did look for a while as though Gavin Griffiths out there was going to be into the game, but his leap into the air was no more than a gesture. So Clark hits. Is that the first 6 of the Nottinghamshire innings?
Yes.
So that will boost them. In goes towards extra cover. Good work by Colin Ackerman, who moved to his left, took it on the first bounce, got his throw away quickly, made sure there was no runs to be had by Joe Clark. So did 6. Lilly comes back with 2 dot balls. In he goes. Just a couple of strides. Bowls to Clark, who hits over mid-wicket. Is going to be short? It is a long way out there. And the man at mid-wicket runs across to his left, makes the stop, gets his throw away. Just 2 to Joe Clark.
Dramatic improvement in the fielding, I think, so far from what we've seen. There's been a number of shots where possibly with poor fielding, with slow fielding, players could scamp to.
Lilly in again to Clark, who it gets a fuller delivery and clips it out towards long on. Dieter Klein, who's got a strong arm down there, get just the 1 from the last ball. So in the end, just 10 from the over from Aaron Lilly, and that is fewer than the Outlaws need, and the rate required has now gone up to over 14.17.
85 needed for the Outlaws to win this game. They've got 36 deliveries to do it, and Gavin Griffiths has the ball in his hands. He will bowl from the Radcliffe Road end in front of us. Excellent. 1 for 7.
63 for 1, Leicestershire at this stage. Notts 41 for 2, well behind in those terms. Can Griffiths do it again?
We won't get too excited and we won't jinx it. But this is as good a performance so far as Leicestershire probably could have hoped for. Griffiths running away from us now. He's up to the wicket. He bowls full outside off stump. That's not going to be a wide, and it's a very good ball indeed. A Yorker outside off stump. Clark tried to drive it, missed it. It's another dot ball, and the 4th of his performance so far. 7 deliveries, 4 dot balls.
Lovely stuff again from Griffiths.
It's very hard to play those deliveries outside off stump full. What's the most you can do? The most you can do is drive it and hope that you time it incredibly well, but you're probably toe ending it if you do. Maybe a late cut behind square might get you 4. Griffiths bowls once again wide outside off stump, this time a slower ball, and he drags the length back a bit. Good variation. They come back for 2 as the ball played out to point by Clark, who moves on to 14 from 13 deliveries, and Nottinghamshire go to 43 for 2, 83 required from 34. There's a tenseness in the stadium. You can feel it in the atmosphere. They weren't expecting this, I don't think, the Nottinghamshire supporters.
Well, we have a game now because we're past 5 overs, and the Duckworth Lewis is showing at 55 at the moment, so they're well behind on Duckworth Lewis.
Griffiths runs in, 93 on his back, a tall man. He's up to the wicket. He bowls. The scoop is attempted, and it's called, is it? Yes, was there a toe in on the bat? Yes, there is. Another wicket falls. Attempted scoop from Clark. It toe-ended at the bat and straight through to Lewis Clark. It almost looked like an orthodox edge, but it happened in the most unorthodox of fashion.
Keeper's gloves.
It did indeed.
Just got so little on it that, and then Lewis Hill threw the ball into the air. Griffiths didn't bother appealing, and then Clark, who'd turned to walk off, started to walk off, then turned to check the umpire. That's a bit of a giveaway, I'm afraid, Joe. And this time, there's no coming back, unlike at New Road 4 years ago, mate.
I believe that's what's called a celeb appeal in the England-Ireland Test match. Stuart Broad has perfected. I'm sure you've seen it in the past, where he doesn't appeal. He just runs off with his hands in the air as if the umpire has already LBW decision. The new batsman in, Tom Moores. A key wicket for Leicestershire taken once more. Gavin Griffiths has his second wicket. His figures at the moment, 3 overs, 2 for 9, 5 dot balls within that. 43 for 3 are Nottinghamshire. They require 83 runs from 33 ball and wickets left. Griffith. Second wicket. His figures at the moment, 3 overs, 2 for 9, 5 dot balls within that. 43 for 3 are Nottinghamshire. They require 83 runs from 33 ball and wickets left. Griffiths with a crew cut. Runs in, up to the wicket. He bowls to the left-handed Moores, and he just flicks that away. That was high up on his bat, that may have even hit his glove. And the fielder around there at fine leg rushes round. I think that's Callum Parkinson, isn't it, who races round, and the single is added to the total. Moore off the mark, 1 for 1. He's off the mark and off the strike, which is what I was just about to say. 44 for 3.
Christian's going to have to do something absolutely extraordinary here, because Leicester have got this game now by the scruff of its neck.
And this man's bowling has done a lot to contribute towards it. Griffiths runs in now. He bowls. Oh, it's a straight delivery. Thick inside. Christian, it'll go down. Too long on. It's fielded down there by Harry Dearden. Just a single added to the total. That is fine. The required run rate now at over 15 and over 15 and a half, in fact.